Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Married 10 years. Wife cheating and confronted her. So I need some honest advice here. My wife and I have been married for 10 years, have kids, great relationship, and I would regard her as my best friend up to about 3 days ago. I had a massive amount of data being used on my phone. Turned out to be an app. No big deal. However, when I pull up the usage data, it automatically pulls up phone calls first. I see a 45-minute phone call at 2 a.m. in the morning to a number I don't know. So I look up the number and how many calls, how long, etc. Turns out there are 37 calls to this number, 25 of them after I have been asleep in bed. Many of them at 1, 2, 3, even 4 in the morning. I confronted her. She has a new, great, job with a very intelligent boss she envies, and made this clear to me. I've always trusted her. All the calls were to her boss. He called only 3 or 4 times. She said everything they talked about was work-related. Insisted on it over and over again. Despite this, I know some of the nights we had been having a few toddies, weekends. She also lied to me 2 months ago when she said she went running by herself at 5:30 am. She did, but he ended up showing up and said he couldn't run that early. Not a big deal because she told me she was running with him, but she insisted when she got back that he never even showed up. So I lie about it. Really weird. I called her on it and she said she loves me and only has feelings for me, and she wouldn't destroy her career and his career by cheating. More emphasis on what she would lose than she loves me. He has a super fancy pants sports car and is married with kids himself. When he was on a business trip, my wife said he needed to text her updates of the conference. He ends up sending her a picture of a $750K car he is thinking about buying. She shows me, but it's still pretty weird that he is texting this to his employee, right? Aside from that, she removed texting from the iPad and her computer at home. She also changed the passwords on this account. I made her show me the messages to him. She had erased them all. So, now what? Was she having a physical affair too? She says absolutely not, it was all business related. I will say she is addicted to education and learning, and it would not be surprising to hear this. But the fact he was receptive to her calls in the middle of the night is messed up. TLDR, I am an emotional roller coaster. My wife cheated by calling her boss late at night after I was asleep. She erased all messages to him. How do I know if she is telling the truth and it wasn't a physical affair as well? Update 1. 4 days after I found out, we have been talking over the past few days. And arguing and whatnot. She insists she loves me, has only loved me, and will always only love me. That nothing physical ever happened. That the new job got her worked up, someone could have died if she put the wrong thing in, and that she called him late one night because she needed to make sure what she did was right. That turned into several calls late at night. She admits to calling, but that she never emotionally cheated because it really was work-related. She has zero feelings for him and their relationship has been and still is 100% profession lonely. Fair enough. I am reasonable, this seems reasonable. She willingly gave me her iPhone and said install spyware on it. I told her I will be recovering all of the messages and she said that is fine. So, maybe I am being over the top? But why erase them if it wasn't incriminating? She said she didn't think I would like it if I knew she was texting him. I said 1. Do you think I like finding out you erased all of the messages more? 2. If it was all professional, why would I care? She has apologized about 1 million times, promises it will never happen again, but I cannot get over the erasing of the messages. It will be chilling to see if she erased these when I called her at work to ask her about the number. If she erased them right after I called, the messages will more than likely be incriminating. TLDR, her story is somewhat legit, however it makes no sense to erase all of the messages on her phone if there was nothing to hide from me. Thanks to all for the advice so far. I love her, don't want to lose her, and don't want any of this to be happening. Thanks for your support and advice. Will update. Update 2. Sorry not updated in a while. This sucks. So the texting continued to happen. The calls stopped. So over the course of the last 7 months, without getting into too much detail as this would go on forever, she continued to get texts from him. She got a couple from him asking if he can buy her lingerie and telling her how great her body is. She texted him back. She said, "Don't test me." He said, "I'd love to test you." All night long. I saved everything. When this was occurring we still had a great relationship, love yous, kissing every morning, sex. Then a few weeks ago they went to a conference together. She hung up on me when I called. Then immediately called him from her room to his room so it wouldn't be on phone records. Detail here, he called her from a cell phone not belonging to him so I wouldn't be able to track it. He shows up. Also, I have the entire audio of this. I listened when she got home. She ducking completely froze up. Couldn't believe what was happening and that I knew. Things got pretty hairy, no violence, just yelling and screaming. I left. She spent a couple days with kids at her parents'. She came back. Wants to work things out. Agreed to counseling. I'm a ducking mess. Have no idea what to do. I love her. Believe she is my soulmate. She said that they both just ducked up and that here they were making things happen together and the adrenaline and rush of it all, yada yada. But he is such a ducking predator. They still work together, albeit far less. What the duck do I do? He has said he has told his wife but I've seen the messages and appears he didn't tell her everything, like the part where they have sex which is pretty clear on the audio. TLDR, I have messages from the last 7 months of my wife's emotional infidelity and an audio recording of the fiscal affair, which she has told me and her parents that it was a duck up and happened only once. I could duck everybody up and destroy our marriages and their careers. I could try and work it out with my wife. She says she loves me but is she worried that I will release audio to the lawyer/HR/his wife? What the duck do I do? You don't have any concrete evidence that they are having a physical affair. You have more than enough evidence to establish that they are having an emotional affair. She has sailed across the appropriate boundary lines in the context of a typical monogamous marriage. It is not appropriate for her to carry on for hours at a time via text and phone in the middle of the night with another man, even less so if she's lying about it and hiding it from you. She needs to get right. That starts with no more seeing him outside of work, no more personal texts or phone calls. If she is able to look for a new job, she should. She needs to be totally and proactively honest with you and she needs to allow full transparency to her phone, email and social media accounts. She may not have had sex with him, but she has clearly violated your marital trust. You should both get to couples counseling immediately. Make it crystal clear to her that she has put your marriage in jeopardy, and that only a 100% commitment from her to get things back on track will save it. This is the only thing short of divorce that I'd find acceptable. If you want to go balls to the walls, a pie may not be a mistake, either. Someone else recently posted elsewhere a pie is cheaper than alimony, and it's probably true. She has given me full access to all of her accounts. Since she always deleted them. Start investigating restoring the messages. Exposed to his wife. They go no contact or you are exposed to their work. Is she having sex with you? Get over to talk about marriage coping with infidelity and post your story. She is at least in an emotional affair with him, probably physical. That's a good start. Now she needs to do the rest of what I described. Please get yourselves into couples counseling. Hoping for the best for you and your family. I'm so sorry you're going through this. After she has deleted stuff, and told the boss not to send messages there. There's a billion messaging apps out there she could be using without your knowledge. Yeah, she could easily create a new email. And if she was having an affair, it wouldn't be strange to tell her boss to email her at said new email. Aside from that, she removed texting from the iPad and her computer at home. She also changed the passwords on this account. I made her show me the messages to him, she had erased them all. So, now what? Was she having a physical affair too? She says absolutely not, it was all business related. Nobody deletes recent business related text messages so urgent that they were sent in the middle of the night. Hell, most businesses have retention policies that forbid deletion of communications. A spouse with nothing to hide from her spouse does not change passwords and restrict access from computer devices after being called out on strange behavior that shows a suspicious pattern. More emphasis on what she would lose than she loves me. You were smart to pick up on this fact. If you have any idea where she writes down her passwords, then I would recommend snooping. I usually don't recommend that, but she keeps giving you good reasons to do so. At a minimum, she is having an emotional affair. My bet is they are screwing. She is going to deny it to the end unless you catch her red-handed. If the calls were work-related, they could be made in front of you. Fact of the matter is she is calling him when you are asleep for a reason. She wouldn't destroy her career and his career by cheating. This is the most important thing on her mind. What would I do? This is a hard one because it can get messy real fast. If you confront him, they are just going to get better at hiding it. What about contacting his wife? Fact of the matter is she is calling him when you are asleep for a reason. I have had incredibly demanding clients and none of them would even consider calling me at 2, 3 or 4 a.m. to speak for 45 minutes about work. People do not conduct business at that hour. Disclaimer, I do think the wife has betrayed his trust. That being said, I'm an on-call application developer for a large financial institution. I, hetero male, was on the phone with my boss, hetero male, at 1:30 a.m. and 3 a.m., Monday and Tuesday morning, respectively. When the system goes down, we have to fix it immediately. People do conduct business for perfectly legitimate reasons in the middle of the night. Well, I can see maybe overseas calls being at that hour, maybe. There could be a client in Japan. I'll agree that most people do not conduct business at those hours. I'm a big fan of after 5 p.m, I'm not going to answer work calls myself. It is medical. Local medical. We really need more info to help you with advice. I would ask how your relationship has been as far as intimacy, communicating, etc. Has your wife ever indicated infidelity before? Like when you were dating or first married? How about an attraction to money or power that might make the boss look more appealing? I think you should really start to question, if you suspect her cheating, why would she cheat? Even if emotional, are you talking to her? Is she opening up to you? Are you having sex, having dinners, doing things a dating couple would do? I understand you're married and have kids, and it's tough to do these things weekly, but I think a few times a month should be enough to maintain a healthy married and parental relationship. To fix this situation, I would start with telling her how it makes you feel when she calls her boss late at night, when she erases texts. Say it makes you suspicious, say it hurts because she feels she can't open up to you. The key I think here is to make it about how her actions are affecting you, not that she's being shady. That puts people in defense mode. What you want is open communication. The truth is, you'll never know if she's having an affair unless you catch her in the act. Searching her phones, spying on her, etc. will make you crazy, and your kids will suffer for that. What you could do is suggest having the boss over for dinner, doing a couples thing if he has a girl or wife, or suggest hooking him up with a friend or one of your co-workers. You can't go about asking her to see texts because that will just lead to her being more cautious. Someone said here you cannot compete, but I think you should. I think if you want to keep your wife and aren't prepared to lose her if she is having an affair, you should act as if you were dating, get a new haircut, hit the gym. Start doing things for yourself. Be an attractive force. It's not really competing with him, you've got to show your wife that she's not the only woman that finds you attractive, indicating what you're prepared to do if you were single again. My so often gets phone calls anywhere from 3 a.m. on. Some jobs are that demanding. Defense lawyers do. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.